Cowboy marinated skirt steak and corn salad are the two best things on your summer plate this season. Joining me again to show us the recipe that you can make right at home is Kelly Beard with the Kentucky Beef Council. Now, again, these are just such colorful meals. It's getting us ready for the season. So what makes this a Cowboy marinated skirt steak?
Yeah, so we're thinking a little bit, we're doing a lot of spice this summer.
Yes.
We're doing a lot of flavor. We're thinking about how we can really beef up our recipes literally and a little figuratively.
Yeah.
So this is a Cowboy marinated skirt steak with the corn salad. Another thing we're doing throughout all these recipes today is really trying to utilize the same ingredients. So we already have had some tomatoes, we've had some red onion. Let's bring them in again so that we can really just maximize what we're using on our plates. And we have a skirt steak again.
Yeah.
So we utilized a marinade again, the Cowboy marinade. So we have a recipe for a Cowboy rub and marinade on kybeef.com that comes with this recipe. And it's all seasonings that you'd probably find in your cabinet. So we have those chili powders, the cayenne, paprika, those common ones, but mixed together really have a great flavor. So utilizing all of those, I'm going back to my old and trusty lime juice that I have in there, and then throw in some chili powder as well. But it's super simple, really easy recipes that you have in there. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of water and oil to truly kind of break down those steak muscle fibers so it can be extremely tender. When you have a skirt steak, at least for myself, I'm usually thinking carne asada or tacos or maybe making fajitas. So even serving it as an entire steak and meal for you is absolutely delicious, but maybe something that I usually just don't lean towards.
Right, but it still looks absolutely delicious. And this corn salad, you usually would think, again, when you're thinking of a skirt steak, those tacos, the fajitas, but just having like a salad on the side, like you could still do that too.
And that is extremely simple to make. And again, I really like those recipes that are extremely customizable. So just like with the marinade, you can take out some of those maybe spicier ingredients. If that's not something you like, you could add some sweeter flair. But with this corn salsa, you can do the same thing. So I just used some, if you want to use some canned corn, maybe you have some frozen corn you need to use, or you could go out and while you're grilling your steak, throw a corn on the cob on the grill, cut it up after and mix it up with the ingredients. So all I did today was some canned corn, some red onion. If you don't like red onion, you can either dice it up smaller, have less of it, or I have huge chunks because I am a fan of red onion.
Me too. I feel like as I've gotten older, my palate has kind of changed.
Yes.
Like when I was younger, I'm like, get me away from the onions, but now I'm like, put more on, please.
Yes, absolutely more. And then we have just some of those cherry tomatoes cut in half. Again, cut them smaller if you'd like, cut them. And all that's mixed in with this is an Italian dressing.
There you go.
It's light, it's airy. It's not necessarily what I would have thought of to pair with the skirt steak, but it is delicious when you put that steak in with it.
So good. And we have been talking about marinades all this morning, but tell us a little bit about dry rubs, because I know people do that too. So really, what is kind of that difference there?
Yeah, so when we're thinking about beef and where it comes from, there are like those primals. So we have chuck, a rib, a loin, and those all have different structures. So just like us, we can do sit-ups and we can work out, but cows can't necessarily do crunches out in the field. So those cuts of meat that maybe come from more of their loin are going to be a little bit more tender. They don't have a lot of work that's going in it, but there are cuts from other areas that maybe need some work. So there are a lot of muscle fibers. And when we're thinking about using those cuts, the ones that have a lot more muscle fibers need something to break it down. So that's where that acidity that we were talking about comes into play. So you're going to need like a lime juice or a pineapple juice. But when we make a filet mignon, like a tenderloin steak or a ribeye, you're not going to necessarily need to marinate that. Soak it. You can if you'd like. It's going to break it down even more. It's going to fall apart.
It's going to be like butter.
Yes.
You're going to eat it with a spoon.
Yeah. But with a skirt steak, you're probably going to want to do that. But with others that are from those primal regions, when we're thinking maybe loin, like sirloin steaks don't really marinate, or a ribeye, you can just throw some seasonings on that, throw a dry rub on it, and throw it right on the grill.
Because just knowing that little behind of, because that's going to take the legwork. Because if you're seasoning something completely wrong, that's for sure going to, make a lasting on your plate.
Yeah. So if you, I'll keep going back to the skirt steak. If you just threw some seasoning on it and threw it on the grill, it'll still taste delicious, but it may not be as enjoyable of an eating experience.
Kind of tough.
And then you maybe won't go and get another one when it may end up being what you need or something that can really stretch your dollar. So when you use a marinade or have all these options, it makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely. So again, where can we find this recipe?
Yeah, this is at kybeef.com/beef month. We have our 4 highlighted beef month recipes. If you click on this one, the Cowboy marinated skirt steak with corn salad, you can see a complete list of the ingredients as well as step-by-step instructions on how to make it. We even have some grilling tips and tricks on there as well, if maybe it's your first time and your first summer being able to go out and be on the grill. So hopefully it can make everything a lot easier, but a lot more fun and delicious.
Absolutely. Well, again, we've got one more recipe coming up because we are showcasing all 4 of them this morning. So again, to learn more, just go to their website. But nothing says summer like a delicious cheeseburger. And oh my gosh, I'm like drooling right now just looking at that picture. So we're learning all about those easy, simple tips coming up after the break.